Hey there. Let me ask you something simple, but real. Have you ever stood at the bottom of a staircase you used to fly up and now it feels like a mountain? Or maybe you wake up and your joints whisper, easy now. Your energy, it's just not what it used to be. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. And no, you're not broken. Aging happens. But feeling weaker, slower, foggy. That doesn't have to be your story. I'm Dr. John Smith, and this is Longevity Life. We're here to help you live longer lives stronger without the fluff. Now I want you to imagine something with me. You're sitting at your kitchen table. The morning light is coming in. And instead of dragging your feet to the coffee pot, you feel ready. Your mind is clear. Your body feels solid. You're not aching or stiff. You stretch and it feels good, not like a punishment. What if that was your normal? Over the years, I've worked with thousands of seniors. Most aren't looking for miracles. They just want to feel good again. They want to walk the dog without worrying about their knees, hold their grandchild without their back screaming at them, or remember where they put the car keys without second-guessing themselves. I hear it all the time, Doc. I don't need to be young again. I just want to feel like me. And you know what? That's not too much to ask. So let me tell you about someone who's a living example of what's possible. Dr. John Scharffenberg, a Harvard-trained physician. He just turned 100, still living independently, still teaching, still walking every day. His secret, not some miracle treatment, not a fad diet, just 3 key vitamins. That's it. He's been taking them consistently for decades. And now science is proving what he's practiced, that the right nutrients at the right time can slow the effects of aging, sometimes even reverse them. And today I'm going to share those 3 vitamins with you. I'll tell you why they matter, how they work, and how you can start adding them to your life easily, naturally, without flipping everything upside down. So stick with me all the way to the end. Because the 3rd vitamin I'll reveal, it's the one that helped my 78-year-old patient ditch afternoon naps and get back to gardening. And it might just be the one your body's been quietly begging for. Before we dive in, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell. Because every week I bring you real health tips made just for seniors, just for you. Let's get into it. Let's take a step back for a moment. We've all had that day, that moment, when something we used to do without thinking suddenly feels harder. Maybe it's carrying the laundry basket, or bending down to tie your shoe and needing a second to catch your breath. These little things, well, they sneak up on us. One day you're doing just fine. The next your knees hurt a little more. You're tired before the day even begins. You forget names, appointments, and start to feel off. You ever catch yourself saying, this just isn't like me? If you have, you're not alone. The truth is, aging doesn't show up all at once. It creeps in, slowly, quietly. It shows up in our joints, in our muscles, in how long it takes us to recover from a busy day. Now, I want you to know this. These changes are common, but they're not random. There are real reasons behind them. And once we understand those reasons, we can start to take action. Let's start with something called sarcopenia. It sounds like a fancy word, but it's simple. It's the gradual loss of muscle that happens as we get older. It often starts in our 30s and speeds up in our 60s and 70s. And what happens when we lose muscle? Everyday things like standing up, lifting groceries, getting out of a chair start to feel harder. Not because we're lazy, not because we're weak, because our bodies are slowly losing the strength we once had. That's not all. There's also the fatigue. The kind that hits you even when you've had a good night's sleep. You wake up already tired. You hit a wall by mid-afternoon. And sometimes you wonder if it's just in your head. It's not. As we age, our body makes less of the hormones that keep us energized, like testosterone and growth hormone. These aren't just about muscle. They affect our mood, our motivation, our stamina. That's why a good day can still leave you feeling wiped out. And then there's bone health. Now, I know this is a topic that makes a lot of folks nervous, but let's talk about it honestly. Our bones lose density as we age. For some, it happens faster than others, and the result, we become more fragile. A simple trip or fall can turn into a fracture, a broken hip, months of recovery. And if you've ever felt like your balance isn't quite what it used to be, that your legs aren't as steady, that your wrists feel more fragile, you're not imagining it. It's your bones trying to tell you something. Now you might be thinking, well, John, this all sounds a bit depressing. But here's the thing, it's not, because none of this is hopeless. See, the real danger isn't in these changes happening, it's in thinking we can't do anything about them. That's the lie we've been sold. You're getting older. This is just how it is. But that's not the truth. Because what you eat, what you feed your body, has a massive impact on how fast or slow you age. And that's where vitamins come in. You've probably heard that line before, just take your vitamins. But let me be clear, we're not talking about popping random pills off a drugstore shelf. We're talking about giving your body exactly what it's craving, the raw materials it needs to build stronger bones, to wake up with real energy, to hold on to the muscle you've worked hard for. Think of it this way. You wouldn't expect your car to run well without gas, right? So why expect your body to run well without the nutrients it needs? And sadly, many older adults, maybe even you, aren't getting what you need. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because the body changes with age. It stops absorbing certain nutrients the way it used to. That's why even folks who eat well still struggle with fatigue, weak muscles, and brittle bones. But here's the good news. With the right support, you can turn that around. And it doesn't have to be complicated. Just a few daily shifts, a few smart additions to your meals, and your body can begin to rebuild the strength, energy, and clarity you've been missing. Now, if any of this is resonating with you, if you've felt this in your own body, I want to know. If you're still watching and finding these insights helpful, please comment one below to let me know you're with me. Because the more we talk about this, the more we share, the more we take back control. Up next, I'll walk you through the 3 powerhouse vitamins that Dr. Scharffenberg has used to stay strong, sharp, and active into his 100S. You've heard of them before, but I promise you haven't heard them like this. Let's keep going. All right, so now we know what's really happening inside the body as we age. Our muscles thin out, our bones lose their strength, and our energy feels like it's being drained from a leaky bucket. But here's the thing most folks don't realize. A huge part of that decline isn't just time, it's nutrition, or more specifically, what's missing from your nutrition. Today, we're going to zero in on 3 powerhouse vitamins that are scientifically shown to slow aging, and more importantly, help you feel better, move better, and live longer with strength and clarity. Let's start with one of the most misunderstood and most overlooked nutrients out there. Vitamin D. They call it the sunshine vitamin, and that's because our bodies naturally make it when we're out in the sun. But here's the problem. As we age, our skin becomes less efficient at converting sunlight into vitamin D. Add in a little winter weather or too much time spent indoors, and suddenly we're way below healthy levels. Now, why does that matter? Because vitamin D does a whole lot more than most people think. Yes, it helps your bones absorb calcium. That's its most famous job. But it also plays a major role in your immune system, your mood, and even how much inflammation you carry in your body. Low vitamin D doesn't just mean weak bones. It means you get sick more often. It means you feel tired. It even affects how your muscles function and recover. Dr. Scharffenberg, remember the Harvard-trained physician who's 100 years old. He's been paying attention to vitamin D for decades. He swears by it. He spends a little time outdoors every day. And he builds it into his diet with foods like salmon eggs and fortified cereals. He says you can't fight aging with empty fuel. And he's right. So, if you're indoors most of the day or live in a cloudy place, this might be the first thing your body's missing. Next up, vitamin B12. Now this one, it's your energy powerhouse. It helps create red blood cells, supports brain function, and keeps your nerves working properly. And guess what? After age 50, your stomach makes less acid. That means you can't absorb B12 from food as easily anymore. Even if you're eating well, low B12 can sneak up on you. It can feel like mental fog, forgetfulness, mood swings, and that tired all the time feeling even when you've slept. You might be thinking it's just old age, but really, your body could just be running on fumes. I've had patients who thought they were developing early dementia, and it turned out to be a B12 deficiency. Once they added the right foods or took a simple supplement, their clarity came back, their energy bounced back, and so did their confidence. Foods like beef, fish, eggs, and dairy are rich in B12. If you're plant-based, no worries. There are fortified cereals, plant milks, and B12 tablets that work beautifully. Even Dr. Scharffenberg, who follows a mostly vegetarian diet, makes sure to get enough B12 through fortified foods. He knows just how critical it is to protecting the brain as we age. And now vitamin E. This one is your body's defender. Think of your cells like tiny soldiers fighting off daily damage. As we age, they face more enemies: pollution, stress, processed foods. That leads to something called oxidative stress. Vitamin E is one of the strongest antioxidants we have. It's like a bodyguard for your cells, protecting your heart, your skin, your eyes, and most importantly, your brain. There's even research that suggests vitamin E may help slow cognitive decline in older adults. Not cure it, but slow it, protect it. And it's easy to get from foods you already know and love. Almonds, sunflower seeds, avocados, spinach. Even a spoonful of olive oil has some of this golden nutrient. Dr. Scharffenberg. He starts most days with a breakfast that includes nuts, whole grains, and leafy greens. Simple, right? It doesn't have to be complicated. It just has to be consistent. So why do these three matter so much? Because together they form the foundation of strength, energy, and resilience. They help you absorb minerals, build muscle, protect your heart, fight brain fog, and keep your bones from turning brittle. And most importantly, they help you feel like yourself again. Now I know what some of you are thinking: John, I've heard of these before. What makes this different? And that's a fair question, but here's my answer. It's not about knowing the names, it's about understanding the why, and using that knowledge to create real daily habits that support your body not just today, but for the long haul. So don't just think of this as a list of nutrients. Think of it as your aging support team. They're not flashy, they don't promise overnight miracles, but they work quietly, powerfully, and every single day you give them a chance. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Up next, I'll share the real-life story of one of my favorite clients. He's 74, and 3 months ago, he could barely get through a walk around the block. Now he's back on his bike. Let's keep going. Let me tell you about Jim. Jim is 74 years old. He's a retired postmaster from a small town in Oregon, built like a classic American guy. Broad shoulders, big laugh heart, even bigger. But a few months ago, when he came into my office, he looked different. He sat down across from me, eyes tired, shoulders slouched. "Doc," he said, "I don't know what's happening. I used to walk a mile every morning. Now I barely make it around the block without stopping." His wife, Carol, was with him. She nodded and added, "He's just not himself anymore. He sleeps more, talks less, doesn't even want to go fishing." Now let me tell you, Jim is not the kind of guy who complains. He's the kind who works through a cold, shovels snow before breakfast, and calls himself just a little tired even when he's in pain. So when Jim said something was wrong, I knew it was serious. We ran a full panel, heart looked fine, blood sugar stable. But there were 3 things that lit up like a Christmas tree. He was low in vitamin D, very low in B12, and just barely registering any vitamin E. I showed him the numbers. He blinked. "No wonder I feel like someone unplugged me," he said. So we came up with a plan. Nothing fancy, nothing extreme. We started with food: eggs and mushrooms for breakfast, a spinach and avocado salad at lunch, a handful of almonds in the afternoon, 15 minutes of sunlight each morning, Oregon weather permitting, and a simple B12 supplement after breakfast. Week 1. Not much changed. Week 2. He told me he slept better, deeper. By week 4, Carol called me laughing. "John," she said, "Jim just asked me where his fishing pole is." He's back. 2 months in, he was walking the whole neighborhood. 3 months, he dusted off his old bike. And here's what he told me the last time we met. "I thought I was just getting old. But I wasn't slowing down because of age. I was slowing down because I wasn't giving my body what it needed." That hit me hard. Because how many more Jims are out there? How many of you listening right now feel the same? Like your best years are behind you? And what if they're not? What if you're just low on the fuel your body's been asking for? That's the heart of this message today. It's not about reversing time. It's about restoring function. It's about getting back to the version of you that feels most alive. Now, you may not be a retired postmaster. You might be a teacher, a truck driver, a grandmother of 8, or a jazz guitarist. But the principle is the same. Your body is talking. And if you listen and respond, it's amazing what it can still do. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. You don't have to go it alone. We're a community here at Longevity Life. People just like you, ready to fight aging with wisdom, with science, and with hope. And if Jim's story brought a little spark to your heart, maybe reminded you of someone, share this episode with them. You never know who needs to hear it today. All right, coming up next, how to actually put these vitamins into your daily life. No stress, no overwhelm, just smart, doable steps. Stick around, this next part might be the easiest win you've had in years. So now you know the what: vitamin D, B12, and E. Let's talk about the how. Because if you're anything like most folks I work with, you might be thinking, this all sounds great, John, but how do I actually do this every day? Well, here's the good news. You don't have to flip your life upside down. You don't have to memorize nutrition charts or take a dozen pills. You just need a few simple tweaks, little changes that stack up. Let's start with vitamin D. We call it the sunshine vitamin, and for good reason. When sunlight hits your skin, your body naturally makes it. But here's the kicker: as we age, we get less efficient at that. And many older adults simply don't spend enough time outside anymore. So here's the first step. Get some sun. 15 minutes a day. No sunscreen. Just direct light on your skin. Not long enough to burn, just enough to kickstart production. Take your morning coffee on the porch. Walk to the mailbox. Sit by a sunny window with your sleeves rolled up. It adds up. Now, if you live somewhere cloudy or it's winter, you'll want to lean into food sources. Fatty fish like salmon or mackerel are excellent. Egg yolks are another easy win. Just scramble a few in the morning. And don't overlook fortified foods. Many cereals, orange juice, and plant-based milks have added. D. Still not sure if you're getting enough? A simple supplement, 600 to 800 IU per day, is often recommended for adults over 60. Talk to your doctor first, of course. All right, moving on to B12. This one's all about energy. But here's where it gets tricky. Our stomach acid, which is needed to absorb B12 from food, declines as we age. So even if you're eating meat or eggs, you might not be absorbing enough. Foods like beef, chicken, tuna, and dairy are packed with B12. A breakfast of eggs and Greek yogurt. That's a B12 booster right there. Lunch with grilled salmon or a turkey sandwich. Another easy win. Vegetarian. No problem. Many plant milks, cereals, and even nutritional yeast are fortified with B12. Just check the labels. Still feeling tired, sluggish, or forgetful? A B12 supplement might be your next best friend. Most older adults benefit from a daily dose, often around 500 to 1000 mg. But again, check with your provider. Now let's talk vitamin E. This one's found in real whole foods. You don't need anything fancy here. Start with almonds. A handful mid-morning or tossed into your oatmeal. Boom, vitamin E. Add spinach or kale to your lunch salad. Use olive oil when cooking dinner. Snack on sunflower seeds during the day. Even avocados. Yes, the toast trend isn't just for millennials. They're rich in healthy fats and vitamin E. You can also throw all of that into a smoothie. Spinach, avocado, almond butter, banana, and oat milk. Tastes great and fuels your cells like a champ. And here's the beauty: you're not just getting vitamin E. You're getting fiber, heart-healthy fats, antioxidants, things your body is craving more than ever. But here's the real secret to success: consistency. You can't take one supplement, eat one salad, or walk in the sun one afternoon and expect magic. This is about stacking small wins every day. So here's what I recommend. Build your vitamin power routine. It could be as simple as this: morning scrambled eggs with spinach and mushrooms. Cup of fortified orange juice. Quick walk outside afternoon. Tuna or turkey sandwich on whole grain. Handful of almonds. Water with lemon evening. Grilled salmon or lentil soup with olive oil. Side salad with kale or avocado. Wind down time with chamomile tea. Add in a daily B12 supplement if needed. Maybe a D supplement if you're not seeing much sun. That's it. No crash diets. No extreme regimens. Just better choices more often. And to help you stay on track, track your wins. Get a little notebook or use your phone. Note how you feel each morning. Energy level, sleep quality, mood. Because when you start giving your body what it needs, it notices. And soon you'll notice too. Now, if you're ready to try just one of these today, type the word try in the comments and let's take this step together. Maybe it's swapping margarine for olive oil. Maybe it's 15 minutes on the porch in the sun. Maybe it's adding almonds to your afternoon snack. Whatever it is, start small. Start today. You'll be amazed at what happens when you stop fighting aging and start feeding strength. Up next, we're wrapping this up. But not before I share one final reflection about why this journey isn't just about vitamins or routines. It's about reclaiming your confidence one step at a time. Let's finish strong. Well, here we are. If you've stayed with me all the way through this episode, thank you. That tells me something about you. You care, you're ready. You want to take back control. So before we wrap, let's quickly bring it all home. We talked about the aging process, what's happening inside your body as the years go by. The muscle loss, the bone fragility, the drop in energy that seems to come out of nowhere. And we called it for what it is: normal, yes, but not something we have to surrender to. Then we uncovered the big three: vitamin D, B12, and E. Not just letters on a supplement bottle, but powerful allies working quietly in the background to protect your bones, fuel your energy, and guard your memory. These aren't miracle pills. They're nutrients your body has been asking for all along, and if you give your body what it needs, you don't just age, you thrive. Like Jim, the retired postmaster who got back on his bike. Like Dr. Scharffenberg, still walking and teaching at 100 years old. And like so many others who made one small change and kept going. Because that's really the secret here. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. Now, maybe right now, you're still feeling a bit unsure. That's okay. Maybe you're thinking, John, I've tried things before. It never sticks. Or I don't know if I have the energy to change anything. Let me tell you this. You don't need to overhaul your life. You just need to take one small, honest step in the right direction. One better breakfast, one walk in the sun, one handful of almonds instead of a cookie. That's it. Your body is always listening, and it wants to feel better. So let me ask you, what's the one thing you're going to try today? Seriously, right now. What's the first step you'll take to feel stronger and more vibrant? Maybe it's checking your vitamin D levels. Maybe it's picking up a carton of fortified milk. Maybe it's scheduling a walk tomorrow morning before breakfast. Whatever it is, write it down, own it. And hey, drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you, because your story might inspire someone else. Let's build a space where we learn from each other, not just about aging, but about living with intention. Now, before we close, I want to leave you with one last thought. Dr. Scharffenberg once said, longevity is not about escaping time. It's about respecting it. That stuck with me, because every meal you make, every supplement you take, every little healthy habit, it's not just self-care. It's a way of saying, I'm still here. I still matter. Every warm meal is not just a comfort. It's a choice to protect your future one bite at a time. So be proud of yourself today. You listened, you learned, you showed up for you. And if no one has told you this lately, you're doing better than you think. Now, if you found this episode helpful, share it with someone you love. A friend, a sibling, your spouse, someone who's walking this journey too. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, because next time we're diving into a big one. The 5 food myths. Most seniors still believe in how they're holding you back. You won't want to miss it. Until then, take care of yourself. Eat well. Move a little. And remember, you're not getting older. You're just getting wiser. We'll talk soon.